you know, from elementary education to secondary school,
Yeah.
and then from secondary to leap to the collegiate
University.
level and university level. That's just so hard, and you know, as you know,
Yeah,
education affects food production. Food production, you know, can provide the money for education. So that's just such a hard cycle. And have you had any experience, sort of, you know,
yeah,
breaking through that barrier between the rich and
yeah,
the poor?
no, it's, you know, it's a truism. No one said a lot of this is easy. And
Yeah,
that's the hardest part. Oftentimes, national policies would get in the way. And the biggest thing that we do there, which we're ending now, but we didn't deal with, is we did offer another service. We worked very hard to empower people to raise their issues with local leaders and or among themselves in various areas, particularly where there were some intertribal sharing of land in the case of the local level. But the major part of that, solving that though, is really having and supporting enormously the local leaders that you're working with, even though they have a hard road to convince people to change, you know? I work on water projects here in Montana, you know, and as a challenge, and it's harder here than it is in Africa, I'll tell you, to deal with water because God always provides, you know, but we're not there anymore. Anyhow, at the end of the day, I really found that the only way that we can deal with this is to basically put the word out, take the heat ourselves for messing around and let the local leaders basically rise with the support of their people. It can get hairy, and it can definitely, that's what I meant by you can't deal, the only sustainable thing is change and you don't know whether it's good or bad. I swear, as soon as any, well, I shouldn't say any, as soon as any community like Hibisaro starts to emerge on its own, without some sort of patrimony or claim for success on another level, the elite level, you know, it's looked upon as challenging for some way. And a lot of people, the farmers here in Montana and that, they're very good, excellent, but trying to get anyone in the rural sector anywhere in the world to collaborate is hard. And the word change is a sin. It is a sin.
yeah.
I've dealt with that here on water rights on the canals, you know, and not being used and the threat that use it or lose it and all of that, you know, and it's, but the farmers say, I'm raising that, here's how we can solve it, you know, they ask me, and we're talking, and I deal a lot with DNRC, the Department of Natural Resources, and we're looking at it, and then they say, but there's this use it or lose it, and there's a thing, if you can't demonstrate if you haven't used the water for 10 years, you lose it. I went and raised it with DNRC and I said, where's it go then? Well, it goes to Fish Wildlife Parks. Where does it go then? It goes into the river. And where does it go then? And I said, you know where it goes? And I said, yes. Where does it go in the spring? A lot of it in the spring goes to the Gulf of Mexico. So we raised the issue of trapping and managing in phases, which actually the Bureau of Reclamation recommended. And I've seen that. We ultimately did that at Botswana in reconciling this issue that we had there. And certainly on the Keys Ranch, we were able to maximize the value of the water, even though the people, in their own right, they had their own boreholes in the area around Boy and that. There wasn't a lack of water. But as soon as you move out of any center, you really have trouble with the water. But your question's very good. The social and political process at the local level and the national level can be at odds, but you just really have to push it on a highly diplomatic level. You just have to go in, here's what we're doing, it's great. Ronald, please comment.
Yeah, my other comment is that on that is that sometimes policy changes, but people just don't know it has changed.
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah, and sometimes the only intervention you need is information. Lots of things change.
And you can also propose changes, which a lot of the people don't know they can do.
Yeah, yeah. But I've seen situations where people stay the same way they were staying when the situation has changed. Like in the water sector in Kenya has undergone tremendous reforms since 2002 that has allowed people to set up water user associations and all that. That allows people to actually invest in water, form associations and control that resource and charge for it and all that. But some people don't know, and they sit there and just get stuck in that. Even the education system has changed, but sometimes people don't realize that. When you know Quisero, you don't even know that going to school is free and compulsory. Kids still stay at home, yet basic education is not only free, but a parent can be taken to court if they don't take their kid to school. But these are things that sometimes you need to collaborate with other organizations that are good at advocacy. You might not be able to do all this,
Yes.
but I think collaborations will be important. And that's why it's tricky for organizations like EWB that really travel very occasionally.
Mhm.
We need to think through how do we develop collaborations in areas where we are working that can continue the work that we are doing
Mhm.
at the time we are not there.
Mhm.
Yeah, dealing with those other soft issues that might not necessarily be our strength. How do we develop that? I don't know the answer to that, but I think that's
Yeah.
something that we need to think about.
Oh, and another feature of this too, I don't know, you probably, maybe, I don't know if you saw it in your time with TechnoServe there, but one of the things that we really found was possible when we run into really political legal constraints, we would contact American and local law firms, some of the premier in the world. And we would go in, explain what we were dealing with, and ask them to provide pro bono services to resolve the issues that we couldn't possibly figure out and the local people couldn't, and they did. One of the most amazing ones on that was the senior partner at the second largest law firm in New York City. It was $1,000 an hour, way back then. And he told him we were working with a group of Mayan Indian people in Yucatan who had Spanish documents that showed they owned the land, and tourist groups were coming in to kick them off. And they were trying to get a defense and get a title to their land. And this senior guy took a bevy of his colleagues and went down and hired other law firms on his own and got them title to their land. And those are real breakthroughs. And then the Mexican government changed the rules on just, grabbing land that, was with agreements dated back hundreds of years, but they're still operative. Okay, I don't know if that was of any value. I see a lot of either stoic or tired faces or saying, gee, he means well, I hope he survives another day or two. Was it useful at all?
Yeah.
Okay. I never know why couldn't I get you to talk?
It takes more than 2 seconds to think about the answers to your question.
We had a lot of good info, but it all came very fast. We had a lot to get out there in a short period of time.
I must confess, I really haven't done this in a long time, but 1 hour to cover the subject I was asked to cover.
No problem.
I could do much better if I could tell you how you change how you take the head off your vehicle and bore it and put it back on at higher compression. That's the chart. And then, except that a lot of us go right away on that. But unfortunately, I could see you if you were sleeping, All right.
Thank you.
Where is Chaudhry? That's a name I know from Pakistan.
Yeah, it's originally where my family's from.
Where part of Pakistan?
Northern part.
Northern part?
Mhm.
Up in the Swat Valley?
I'm not
North.
sure. What my parents, actually, my dad grew up in Kenya.
You
But
did?
my grandparents are originally from Pakistan.
Oh, my, that's good. I had a very good colleague, his name was Chaudhry. Anyway, I had to ask that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really support and admire your generation and what you're doing in all of this. This is really exciting. It really is. And I cannot tell you, if you, I don't know what I could do, but if you, whatever you need, to succeed on the thing, I can't promise I can do it, but we do I'm able to raise money, okay? I have a tin cup and everything, but we can raise that money. And especially for those of you that want to go overseas and there is a problem in financing your own individual trip to do so. I can't promise, but I can take that to folks right here in Bozeman and we can solve that. Okay? Just a little carrot there for being patient with me. And I do hope you will pursue careers in the field. This is part of what you should do. Get the experience doing this. If you like it, and you get a chance to repeat again doing it, and you really want to pursue it, small percentage of the students do, at the end of the day,